What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at 28 Days Later. With 28 Years Later coming out over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, we're going to be taking a look at all of the 28 whatevers later in order. So we're going to be taking a look at 28 Days Later today. Tomorrow we'll be taking a look at 28 weeks later, and then the day after that we'll be taking a look at 28 years later. So get ready for this zombie movie franchise to finally have a solid conclusion ending, because we're going to be getting into this new one, which I think is very, very exciting. So this is 28 Days Later, and it's kind of a zombie film with the guy from Peaky Blinders in it. What's his name? The guy who also played Oppenheimer. He is like the main character in this one. Genuinely, can't remember his name. And I do apologize about that. But without any further delay, let's head over to what Google has to say about 28 Days Later. Yeah. I think this is 28 days later since Halloween, which I think is pretty fitting. So this came out in 2002. It is a horror sci-fi, which is 1 hour and 33 minutes, has a 7.5 out of 10 IMDb, 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3.8 out of 5 on Letterboxd. You can watch this on BBC iPlayer, Now TV, Google Play, and Sky Store. 28 days after the outbreak of a deadly virus in London, which infects everybody and turns them into brain-dead killers, the survivors try to cope with their losses and find sanctuary. So I actually really liked the concept of this, I'm going to be honest, because it's set in the UK. We never really get horror movies set in the UK. It's always America. So I'm really happy to have some British representation in the horror media with 28 Days Later. However, this movie opens up with very big similarities to The Walking Dead, with our main character waking up in hospital. But I have a lot of questions about this, and I'm sorry, I will get into the story in a little bit, but I am so confused with when he woke up in the hospital. Why was he A, on top of the sheets? Normally you're under the sheets. Why was he 2, ball stark naked? I did not expect to see his ding-a-ling and his booty cheeks just swaying in the wind for the first 5 minutes of this movie. And why was he alone in the hospital? I don't get that. That is so similar to Ricky Dicky Doodah Grimes' opening in The Walking Dead. But the virus started because they were testing on monkeys, and some environmentalists let the monkeys free, and the virus spread. So we have our main character traveling through London. He gets picked up by 2 people who rescue him. He then wants to go to find his mother, so he goes to his mother's house. Unfortunately, his mother and father did kill themselves, saying that they left him sleeping because they thought it'd be the best thing to do, and now they're sleeping with him, and they told him not to wake up. But unfortunately, bro woke up. So now they continue their journey. One of the people gets killed because they got bit trying to save our main Peaky Blinder here. They then continue their travels because they see lights in the distance, so they go to that place. They go in, and they meet a father and daughter. They then go on a road trip, changing a tire, being chased by zombies, looting a shop, looting a gas station, killing a child, and sleeping in a church. They then find sanctuary with these government people, but unfortunately the dad got blood in his eye and turned into one, so they had to kill him. They then get to this big mansion being protected by army people. One of the army people did turn into a zombie and was kept outside so they could see how long it would take for it to starve. The other army people were then having their best life, joking around, and then we take a sinister turn when it turns out that they just want to keep the women there to basically sexually abuse them. They were just there to be fucked. That is literally all the army people want. The army people were going to kill themselves, but the commander was like, no, I can bring you women. So they stayed alive until women came, and now all they want to do is fuck the women, which is fucking disgusting. That is vile. I don't care how desperate you are. That is fucking grim and disgusting. Doctor Who, the doctor before David Tennant is the commander. I don't know his actor name, and I don't remember his name in the movie, so I'm just going to refer to him as Doctor Who. Is a dick. Honestly, a absolute cunt. I shouldn't have said that on YouTube. Shit. Fuck it, I'll leave it in, because, it's true. And, they decide to kill Cillian Murphy, for disagreeing with them and trying to stop them. So they go and kill him, but he breaks out and he brings like a horde of zombies with him back to the mansion. They kill all the army people, they rescue the girls, they get out, they find a farm, they get help, and they are saved. Honestly, peak ending. I'm so glad that they got saved, and I'm so glad that that young girl was actually chatting shit back and chatting shit to them, because fuck them. Fuck them guys, honestly, they were dicks. Deserved everything that they got. They deserved to be eaten by the zombies and to turn into them themselves. Genuinely, get fucked. So, overall, I thought this was a pretty mid movie, I'm gonna be honest. It was very, very basic. It literally follows the plot points of most other zombie movies, like Zom 100. We have our characters meeting gradually over the course of the few days after the zombie apocalypse, struggling to survive. We come across a big camp which is run corruptly, and then we get to Sanctuary, and then we get saved. Pretty much most like zombie franchises, most zombie movies, most zombie TV shows, even The Walking Dead has it, where they, continue through The Walking Dead, they meet other survivors, they have their base camp, which is nice, they run across a corrupt camp, which looks good to start with, but turns out has some dark, evil secrets and some awful people inside, and that's pretty much most horror movies. And it did feel like a family road trip for a good half hour of this movie, where they were just going around looting, having a grand time. It did not feel like a zombie movie when they were traveling in the car. There was very little moments of threat in this movie until the end, which was the big final climax, and then when they were being chased in the car and towards the start of the movie to set the scene. Throughout the middle bit of the movie, it just felt quite boring and quite slow. They were just going on a family road trip, driving across the UK, having a grand old time. The entirety of Manchester was on fire, which I thought was insane, I'm going to be honest. It was quite funny to see all of Manchester burned down. But when I watched this movie, it was pretty unfortunate timing, to be fair. But, we move. And Cillian Murphy's acting, this does feel like really early on in his career, was decent. You can tell it was acting from the time. This looked really, really old, and you can tell from the acting, you can tell from the camera, you can tell from the camera angles as well, when this was made. They tried to do some interesting transitions between the characters, some interesting camera movements, but it was still, it was quite mid. It wasn't the best movie that I've seen in the world, and you can tell it's a product of its time. For whatever reason, it's held very highly. I don't know why. I didn't really connect with this movie. Again, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I am watching it because of the new one coming out. So it does feel quite lackluster to me, and just like every other zombie movie that I have seen before. But without any creative excitements to it. With Zom 100, there is some creative differences to it, and some interesting, aspects of it, and some creative moments. In The Walking Dead, there is, again, a lot more, storytelling time, but there's a lot more creative moments and a lot more interesting, scenarios. With this, it just hits the bare minimum for what you need for a zombie story. Wake up in hospital, check off the list. We then have meet other survivors, check off list. Get chased by zombies to set the threat level, check off the list. Showing how the zombie virus came to be, check off the list. Go to a corrupt camp and escape, check off the list. That is literally what this movie is. That is it. It is the basic, moment for what zombie movies are. And again, this probably came out first. This probably, did it first, but I didn't see it first, so I cannot give it props for any of it. It does have some comedic moments as well, with Cillian Murphy's character yelling at some of the zombies from inside the car, telling them to go fuck themselves, and it has some pretty decent action moments as well, but other than that, I can't really give it much props or much credit for what it's done, when it hasn't done much to stand out in the first place. There isn't a whole lot that this does that other zombie movies or shows haven't done already. And again, I just feel like it's very, very basic, very base level, very simple. in what it could do. And again, there is a lot of other interesting things that, could come from this. Like, they could have done so many different, like, ways or moments with this movie, but no, they stuck to, like, the base level stuff of what they need. And I'm trying to think of some other stuff that they could have done which would be more interesting. And unfortunately, I can't off the top of my head. Like, obviously, all the bad people died. All of the, like, Doctor Who and his army men did get killed. Cillian Murphy saved them. They got rescued at the end. It just feels by the book. And again, I'm no, like, film director. I'm no, like, script writer. I'm making a comic book, but I'm not, like, a movie person. Like, I'm not writing a movie. So I can't really put, like, any ideas out there for, like, how to make this different or stand out. But I did enjoy seeing Cillian Murphy's character walking through London with, like, no one else there. I thought that was really cool, just to see London, a place which is normally bustling and busy and filled to the brim with people, have no one at all. It was pretty surreal, and I did enjoy it. And seeing all the little Big Bens on the floor was quite funny to me as well. Genuinely just made it, like, as British as possible, which I thought was quite amusing. But other than that, I don't really have much else to say, so I hope you all did enjoy this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. Hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. I didn't actually rate this movie, did I? Fuck, my bad. It gets a 5 out of 10, because it isn't terrible, but it isn't brilliant. It's kind of mid, because it's just like a generic zombie movie. So, 5 out of 10 it is. Like, I forgot to rate it. Sorry, my bad. Right, now I'm actually leaving, so come back tomorrow for 28 weeks later, I think that's the next one. So yeah, 28 weeks later, and I'm not gonna make you I'm not gonna make you wait 28 weeks to like, have the review. I am gonna give you it tomorrow. Don't worry about that. So come back tomorrow, please. Please, it would mean a lot.